What's up, YouTube? It's Julia Creations, you guys, and I'm back with another video. I'm so excited because today we're going to be doing a weekly budget, and I don't know why, but I feel like I don't always do weekly budgets, but in this example, it's a really good one, and I'm so excited to do it. It's one of my clients that I did during a private session, so we're going to go through and take her budget to a weekly, and I'm going to fill out the calendar and everything, so you guys are going to get the full 9 on how we set up a full weekly budget and get our planner set up for the month. I'm excited. Let's get into it. All right, so this is gonna be for a budget for May, you guys, and I'm gonna put May 24, and we're gonna go ahead and write in the dates here really quickly. Alright, you guys, so now we're going to go in and write down our paydays. We're also going to go ahead and write down our subscriptions and our credit cards. So our payday will be the 3rd. And we're paid every week, so we're just going to go ahead and write down payday here, payday here. I need to get us some stickers because that would help so much. Payday here, and then payday here as well. And then we're also going to go in and write down our subscriptions. We got a subscription that comes out, which is going to be $7. We have a Capital One card that comes out, which is going to be $102. And we have on the 11th, we have another subscription, which is going to be $4. And then on the 15th, we have another subscription, which is going to be subscription number 3, which is going to be $10. And then subscription number 4, which is going to be $17. And the subscription number 5, which is also going to be $17. So if you want to go through and write down the name of each subscription, if that helps you, you can do that as well. And now we're going to get into our actual budget. Alright, you guys, so now we're going to do our handy dandy monthly budget here. So this is going to be for the month of May. And then we're going to say our budget goal is to save to pay off debt, because this is what she's working on. So if your goal is to pay off debt, we need to start with the budget to see what's coming in and what's coming out. So we're going to go ahead and write down her pay period. She gets paid the 3rd. And then let's also see what she gets paid here. She also gets paid the 10th, the 17th, and the 24th. So I'm going to actually put that she's weekly paid, because when we break this down to a weekly budget, it won't matter here. So weekly, we're just going to write down weekly, weekly. And we'll put the full amount here. So 500 times, or 550 is what she gets each week, times, let's see, 550 times 4 weeks in a month. So she averages about, oh, it's 5 weeks this month. So 550 times 5, since we have extra week, we're averaging about $27.50 per month. So now we're going to go in and write down our fixed expenses. So these are going to be our expenses that are usually the same every month, and we're going to go ahead and write the dates in. When we wrote down the calendar, we wrote down our subscriptions. We didn't go through and write down our bills, so we're going to go ahead and fill this in now. Alright, you guys, so now we're gonna go ahead and add up our fixed expenses and our variables. So we got car insurance, just gonna be $125, car payment for $215, phone bill for $75, medical for $105, rent for $377, and utilities for $100, which is going to be $997 for our fix. Now we're gonna go ahead and add up our variables. 120 plus 200 plus 102 plus 54 plus 75 is going to be 551. 551 plus 997 is going to give us an expense total here. Am I missing something here? 105, 377, 38. You know, guys, I'm also missing the Wi-Fi that comes out on the first. So let me adjust this here. See? Okay, which is going to be $38. Sorry, you guys. 997 plus 38. It's going to bring this to 1035. 1035 plus 551 is going to be 1586. And also, guys, usually we don't put June's budget in here, but I want to show you why we did this when we break it down to a weekly budget. Because remember, our rent and stuff is going to be in our budget for the month, but she's already paid her rent from the previous month, so she used that check. But we're going to break that down to a weekly budget once we figure out what our cash surplus is. So we're going to go ahead and take $27.50, and we're going to go ahead and minus this by 1586. 2750 minus 1586. We roughly would have 1164 left over at the end of each month. So now let's break this down to a weekly budget. Alright, you guys, so now we're going to break down this lovely monthly budget and break this down to a weekly budget. So to set up a weekly budget, we're going to go through and write down the week of. So this will be your Mondays through Sundays. You're going to go ahead and write these dates in, and we're going to just fast forward and put this in really quickly. May 6th to May 12th, May 13th to May 19th. Then we're going to go ahead and do the back, which is going to be May 20th to, should be May 26th here. And May 26th to June 2nd. All right, now we have our week set up, and now let's break down our budget. All right, you guys, so now let's break this down to a weekly budget. So we're looking at April 28th to May 5th. What bills will we have that will come out around this time? We already paid the rent here for May, so we don't have to worry about that because she paid that with her previous check. So we know we're bringing in $550 per week. So we're going to go ahead and write this in. $550. So what are our bills that we for sure need to pay this week based off our budget sheet here? So our car insurance comes out on the 10th, so why don't we just take care of it with this check? So we're going to go ahead and write car insurance, which is going to be $125. And then let's look at our calendar here. So our next payday would technically be the 10th. So we need to cover all expenses that will come from basically the 1st all the way to the 9th. So we'll for sure have to cover our subscription for $7 and our Capital One credit card. So our Capital One has a minimum of $102. And then we have a subscription which was $7 that would come out as well, that would need to be paid with this check or the previous check. Then we're gonna go ahead and fill up our gas tank. Our gas budget is $120, and she said she spends about $35 per week filling that up. So we're gonna put 35 in there. Our grocery budget's $200. If we divide that by week, that would be $50 per week. So we'll go ahead and put $50 for groceries. And then eating out, we're just gonna go ahead and put $15. All right, so now let's go ahead and add up our expense total. So we know for fix, we're gonna spend $125. That's our only fixed bill that comes out. Our credit cards are part of our variables, so 102 plus 7 plus. So 102 plus $7 plus 35 plus 50 plus 15 is going to give us a total of 209. So 209 plus 125 is going to total to $334. So we're gonna go ahead and take 550 minus 334. We'll have 216 that will go in our savings this week. So every time you get a paycheck, you want to go in, write down your bills, your expenses, and then figure out how much you have left over to put in your savings. So now we're going to go to the next week and fill this out. Let's go ahead and look at May 6th to May 12th. So May 6th to May 12th. We don't have our car payment coming out to the 18th, and we also don't have our phone bill coming out to the 20th. But maybe we should go ahead and get a head start so we don't have to worry about that next week. So our car payment here is going to be $215, and this budget is going to also help you get ahead. Phone bill, which is going to be $75. And I'm going to make sure I re-add up my math, you guys. I don't know why. Every time I'm doing my math, it's like my brain just turns off to an extent. All right. So we got our subscriptions here that will come out for $4, and our other subscription for $10. That will come out on the 15th. We don't get paid again to the 17th. So we'll go ahead and pay that here as well. So I'm going to put subscriptions for $14, and that was a $4 and a $10. Just want to make sure. And then our gas is going to repeat again for $35. Our groceries here for $50, and then we'll do eating out again for $15. She is trying to reduce her eating out. She said she ate out a lot more last month, so she wants to reduce that. So let's go ahead and add everything up. 215 plus 75 is going to 215 plus 75 is going to give us 290. And then 14 plus 35 plus 50 plus 15 is going to give us 114. 114 plus 290 is going to give us an expense total of 404. So we're going to go ahead and take our paycheck and minus it by our total of expenses and decide how much we're going to put in our savings. We'll be able to put $146 in our savings this week. Woo, woo, woo. All right, you guys, now let's look at our last, or not necessarily our last week, but this next week coming up, May 13th to May 19th here. We'll have $550 coming in from our paycheck. It looks like we'll have some medical that we have to take care of. So let's go ahead and put our medical in here, which is going to be 105. And then utilities don't come out to the first, but why don't we go ahead and get ahead on that? Let's go ahead and put utilities, so that way we won't have to pay rent and utilities all in one check. So we'll put our utilities to get a head start. So that's going to bring our fixed to 205. And then let's go ahead and look at our variable expenses. What are we going to have that's going to come up again? Let's go look at our calendar. Looks like we have one subscription that will come out before payday here. So we'll go ahead and cover that, which is going to be $17. All right, then our gas will repeat again for $35. Our groceries will repeat for $50. And then our eating out, we're going to go ahead and just bump this to $20 this week. So let's go ahead and add this up. 17 plus 35 plus 50 plus 20 is going to be 122 this week. For variables, 122 plus 205 is going to give us 327 as our expense total for the week. 550 minus 327 here. Let's see how much we get to put in our savings. 550 minus 327 is going to be $223 that will go in our savings. And just like that, we've already saved $500 just sticking to our budget, setting up a budget for our paychecks. So now let's go to the next week and wrap up this budget for the month. Oh my gosh, you guys, I thought my camera was recording this whole time and it wasn't. So we're looking at the week of May 20th to May 26th. We're bringing in $550. We're going to go ahead and cover our Wi-Fi and get that out the way. We'll cover our rent with the next check. So we're going to ignore that. We'll do that for the next check that's coming up. This May 26th to June 2nd, but let's go ahead and see if there's anything in our calendar that we need to pay off. So we're looking at the week of May 26th. Let's see here. May 20th to May 26th. This is why the calendar is so helpful as well. So May 20th to May 26th here. We already covered this expense with the previous check. This is how I said we'll always be ahead when we're doing our budget. So we just have to cover basically this other subscription of $17 here. So let's go ahead and write that subscription in here as well. It's a subscription of $17. And then just like our previous week, we have gas. Our variables are pretty consistent. We're telling ourselves we're going to spend this much on groceries, gas, eating out, all of that good stuff. So 50. And then eating out, we'll do 20 again. All right, so 17 plus 35 plus 50 plus 20 is going to be 122. 122 plus $38 is going to be $160. So 550 minus 160 here will give us 390 in our savings. So technically this will basically wrap up our May budget for the month. So this cash surplus should match what we set for May, but we still have 1 week left in May here. So May 26th to June 2nd, we still kind of have a paycheck that will come out this week. So we'll go ahead and finish this last week off as well. All right, you guys, so now we're on the last week of the month, which is going to technically be $550 here for our income. And we're going to go ahead and write in our expenses. So now we covered basically everything. We just have to pay our rent now. So we got rent that's going to come out, which is going to be $377. $377 is our only fix. And then we'll have gas again, which is going to be our main variable, which is going to be $35. our groceries, which is also going to be $50. Then we're gonna go ahead and fill in our eating out again. We'll just do $15. And this is going to be half May and half June's budget here. So this will cover kind of that first week of May and June coming in. So that's why it's recommended to set up a weekly budget so you can see everything that's coming in and coming out, and when your bill cycle is basically gonna start over again, which is gonna be let's see here, 35 plus 50 plus 15 plus 7. I always like to redo my math, you guys, just in case sometimes my finger slips. As you can see, we had a few mess ups earlier and I try to avoid that. So 484 is going to be our expense total. So 550 minus 484 is going to be $66 in our savings. So it's a little shorter week. But just like that, we know exactly what's coming in and what's coming out, and we stick to our budget. Let's see how much we saved for the month. All right, so let's go ahead and add up everything that we saved for the month. So the first week we saved $216, the second week $146, the third week $223. Now we're at $585. Let's go to the next week here. $585 plus $390 plus $66. So we technically would have saved $1041 for the whole month of May beginning June. So keep in mind, guys, we did have extra groceries that we spent on here, so that did add some of the money up here, and then our eating out for this next cycle that was coming up. So this will technically be half of May and half of June. So that's where we're short at when it comes to the budget and the gas here, because we're already starting that 5th week, vice versa the 4 weeks, and this is a income with 5 weeks. So the cash surplus averaging is based off a 5-week cycle here, but you can see it's still pretty close. She's saving about $1,000 per month based off this budget. So this is how we would set up a budget. You can go through and write down your bill payments in here and cross off her bills as she pays them. But we are all set to go, and we've covered everything in our calendar, and we've covered everything for our monthly budget down to our weekly. So make sure you guys like this video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and invest in a budget planner at juliacreations.com or my TikTok shop. Thank you guys again for watching. Bye.